Okay, well, I've been talking to myself for 10 minutes because there's no memory card in this system. Right, so what we've got here is a Midland 77 810 emergency set. It's come from one of our trade customers in Sheffield, who is quite capable of servicing this in his own workshop. But he wanted me to show you this set because it's been modified. It's been modified in a very professional way. Now, I don't like modifying radios, especially if it was illegal. This isn't, and it kind of is a bit of an enhancement. What they've done is they've provided a high-low power switch. Now, you had that if you bought the Maxcom 7E version. There was a crummy little slide switch underneath, which usually broke. But this, they've got this little toggle switch, so they'll have implemented the same circuit to do that. I'm just borrowing this from our stock. This is the Midland 77805 Porter Pack lead. It's the wrong plug for these radios, so I'm going to really struggle with getting a connection. But I want to power it up, and I've done it on. I've already powered it up and shown nobody because we weren't recording. And probably still won't be if we can't get a connection. They're a bit of a unique connector, these, and we have got them, and we did make a sample power lead up, and then I sent it to one of our regular customers who said, "What on earth is this you've sent me? I didn't order one of these." So I told him what it was, and then he promptly bought it off us. So so I've not had Mr Chippie make a replacement. No, I'm just going to struggle here. I really am. I'll have to go back to the crummy lead, which kind of fits. The wire on this crummy lead is too thin. We'll do these tests, and before we do an on-the-air test with this radio, I'll have Mr Chippie make another correct lead up, which we'll try not to sell, and then at least we can amend these transmit power figures, because they're not going to be right. So we're back to where we were. So what we've had on the bit of video you didn't see is we've got 3 watts on it on channel 20, 3.1 watts channel 1, 2.8 watts channel 40. The low power switch which has been added was 420 milliwatts, which is great. It's drawing 679 milliamps on transmit. We were getting quite low deviation. I'll do that on the other test set. It's on frequency, don't need to touch that. It should be 2779125. It's 2779122. By the time the gear's warmed up another half hour, it probably will be. Receive is very good, 0.68 microvolts for 12 decibels synad, with 0.95 for 20 dB synad. Squelch is a bit coarse at 680 microvolts, but that's fine. And then we've got this bizarre S meter which somebody has added. How nifty is that? And this is why matey at Sheffield wants me to show you this video of this radio. It's also had an extension speaker socket fitted, which these sets don't have, which means I can plug in test gear, which means other people can plug in an earphone or an extension speaker. So they've added high-low power, the earphone socket, and this incredible S meter on the transmit bar. Now in transmit it doesn't do anything, and that's because you've got the TX line reassuring you that it's in that mode. So that's why we're showing you this video. We've done these a dozen times, that this one is special. So when we actually look inside, we've got some of the finest wiring here to the 10 LEDs, which somebody has done by hand, and it's the kind of wiring so thin it's the kind of thing you'd have found on the Apollo spacecraft for the 1 foot square computer. So we've got a screen lead going to their appropriate place for the picking up of the signal for the receive. I'm not sure. I'm not a lover of tape, and I'm not going to redo that, but it works. High-low power, I've got a little resistor on the back of the little switch. So all very well done. It's the most professional bodge I've ever seen. So somebody really knew what they were doing there. Right, and it's a lot of the circuit's built on Variboard. So we're going to do a standard retune on this. Just see whether it's on frequency any nearer. There's no reason to change it if it isn't. So let's go to camera 2 and just check where we are. 2779121. I'm not going to adjust that, but the frequency adjust is there. I'll tell you what, we will adjust it. It's glaring at me. There we go, it's now spot on. 2779125. So we'll see if we can tune up the transmitter within the limitations of this power lead. I can't see how that's going to sink more than half an amp, so we'll do what we can, and then we'll redo it on a different power lead before the on-the-air test. Now we're passing Sheffield today, which is a shame because we're on a road trip to a place called Upper Thong, which is near Nether Thong, which isn't far from Lower Thong, which is all near Huddersfield, and Holmfirth, where Last of the Summer Wine was filmed. So between picking up a radiogram from Nora Batty, we will just tune this up. It's a shame because we're passing this gentleman's QTH and we haven't done an on-the-air test, so there we are. We'll have to go back in the post. He's also sent some donations, which I'll be showing you. That's a bit balanced a bit better. That's it. Just check the placement of some of these just in case. That's been well sealed, so I don't think that's going to move. That one looks quite hefty. Don't like it up there. In fact, if it was a bit more up there, we'd have a bit more power. Try and move that to the right slightly. We're now on the others. Oh, I'm not showing you the right meter. Yeah, we're now on the a bit more than 3 watt scale. This soon rapidly drop off with the heat generated. See whether the placement of this one's right. It is. So I'm going to write down we've got 3 point. Well, I'll do that when it's cooled down because it'd be unfair at the moment. Let's turn to the receiver, which is absolutely brilliant. I'm trying to remind myself which is the detector. It's either that one or that one. Doesn't matter what I upset because I can put it right. So I put 100 microvolts on the test set, shaken not stirred. Camera 4, No, camera 3. All the cameras are in colour and work. Wow! Bigger signal. I think that's detector. Well, it's pretty well spot on. So now we'll check the front end. Oh, turn the squelch down. Might have gained a fraction there. Definitely have on that one. I'll just drop the signal. We'll go back on the first one. And I'll just check the IF. Which is there. Right, let's see. I'm not showing you set right meters today. Let's see what our new cyanide reading is. .74. Well, that's worse than before, but then I've done the detector. I'm just going to double check with this IF, because sometimes you can get them on the wrong side. We can use this nifty S meter as a guide. If I can get the tool in at the same time, because sometimes you can be on the wrong side of the IF. So we see we've lost our dot there. No, so it's absolutely, I'll go back to the proper test on the cyanide meter. Just make sure that's, yeah, it's absolutely central. There we are. Now I'll do deviation on the test set behind me, which is, we should have 2 presets. Change glasses. That one may only be 1. Yep. Part of me thought the squelch was adjustable, but it isn't, is it? It's actually silver plated, that, so it's hard to see because it's tarnished over. Right, if I can carefully take that microphone out so I don't have to do a balancing act. I can face that towards me and it'll make my job easier. Right, we'll get plugged into the test set behind me so we've got a more accurate deviation meter. Seeing as that one wants its capacitors changing and it's not going to get it done. Right, you won't be able to see this, but I'll unplug that to make things easier as well. This is where I come disconnected. it's a bit low, it's 2. Wallow, wallow. There we go. Right, we'll get that unplugged again. Put the microphone back. Okay, it's now 2.2 to a peak of 2.5. So I may as well close that back up. And as I say, tomorrow we'll do an on-the-air test. Should be time tomorrow for this, and I will re-evaluate what power's doing on a more sensible power lead, because I think we're actually getting a bit of a voltage drop. I don't think that power cable's capable of drawing more than half an amp through it. Right, plug that back in so we can do all the figures. So I've got, at the moment, I've still got 3 watts. You know what, if I put that knob back on, so it may well be nearer 3.5 or even higher when I get a different power lead on it. But Mr Chippie isn't here at the moment, so I can't have him make me a lead. Yes, I could make one, but then he wouldn't get paid for it, would he? Right, so transmit, let's go to the main meter. We'll go to the 3 watt scale, and yeah, it's beyond 3 watts. So I'm going to put down, I'm actually going to put down 3.1, and then we'll go to the other channels. I think that's channel 40. No, it isn't. That is. We've got 3. Go to channel 1. Got 3.1. So it's balanced a tiny bit better. Low power, we'll go back to channel 20. It's drawing 738 milliamps. And low power is now doing 410 milliwatts. They got that very accurate, didn't they? Receive. Okay. 0.72, 0.69, 20 is probably improved. .93. So we've adjusted the detector, we've improved the clarity, but minutely reduced the sensitivity, which is what happens. Sometimes you get people who've tuned up radios for maximum sensitivity, but they haven't taken the detector into consideration. You end up with a garbled receive. So, squelch. Have we improved the squelch? Because it's not adjustable. I just felt it was a bit harsh. So we'll put the squelch to full and see where it is now. 30, 100, 300. Ah, yes. 410. That proves to me that the IF is now much more, much better aligned than it was before. Threshold, let's check that. .68. So we've improved the squelch sensitivity as well, which is good. Right, so there we go. So it's 3.1 watts on this power lead, but as I say, it will be more than that on a, the power lead that we do, this is for the 77805 quarter pipe, is a cable capable of 3 amps, real 3 amps. You can see, and you can see as we go to the crocodile clips, how thin, when you compare, I know he's tinned these, but when you compare, there's no comparison. So I'll get him to make up a proper lead, and when we do the on-the-air test, I will announce what we've had the power do. So there we are, a very interestingly modified Midland Ready Rescue with a bar graph on receive with 10 individually addressable. It's not in blocks. It's all the 10 are individually addressable. As we change our signal generator, we can make every single one of them light up individually. That's as 100 microvolts. So that's S9. There's no adjustment. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 dots for S9, and as we go, if we said that was plus 30, to make them all light, we're looking at 600 microvolts. So there you go. So very well done, and thank you to matey in Sheffield for letting us do this tune-up, so we can show you all this modified radio. Somebody's gone to a lot of trouble there. Right, so all we need to do now is to put it on the aerial and see if there's any good baddies or bad buddies out there. One niner, Roger. It's only 9:30 in the morning, so it's quite possible they're not out of bed yet. So thanks for watching the Midland Ready Rescue 77810 uniquely modified.